Where is Nikki Alcaraz, who hasn't been seen since May the 6th? And where is her boyfriend, Tyler Stratton? And where's their pet dog? This case has shades of Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie, minus the massive media flurry. But we're going to talk about Nikki's case. We're going to talk about their road trip. We're going to talk about the domestic violence. This story is compelling in its sadness. So let's get into it. So I'm reading this from the Independent newspaper, who has put a comprehensive article together covering pretty much all of the information that's come out in other media. So I thought this was a good article to share. So Nikki Alcaraz, who's 33, vanished without a trace while on a road trip from her home in Tennessee to California. And she was going visiting friends or family with her boyfriend, Tyler Stratton. Miss Alcaraz, 33, was last seen in the town of Moriarty in New Mexico on the 6th of May. So as I record this is the 30th of May. So this is coming up to, well, it's going to be in a week's time, it's going to be a month. This is getting pretty desperate now. And she normally keeps in regular contact with her family. And her family have started to speak out now. So I'm going to talk about that as well. Authorities and her desperate family are appealing for information about her whereabouts. The missing persons case has drawn comparisons to the Gabby Petito investigation after sheriff deputies in Torrance County pulled the couple over after receiving reports that Mr. Stratton had assaulted Miss Alcaraz. There's some pretty disturbing photos that have been shared of the bruises and the black eye that Nikki had. Officers let them go without pressing criminal charges after Mr. Stratton claimed he'd also been hit. This is exactly how Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie, how their story started. You know, remember that traffic stop in Utah, in Moab, and they let them go without any charges, separated them and let them go. Here's what we know about the case. Nikki Alcaraz, mother of two, she's got 2 children waiting for her at home. She's also known as Nikki Hernandez, and I also believe she's known as Nikki Cunningham. But all the media are using the surname Alcaraz. But just to be aware, if Nikki has gone off somewhere, and, you know, she's gone off grid, and she's having some contact with people, she may be using the surname Hernandez or the surname Cunningham. So she left her home in Cheatham County, Tennessee, in her 2013 Jeep Wrangler with Tennessee plates in late April, bound for Orange County in California to visit family. Miss Alcaraz was travelling with Mr. Stratton and a pet dog. It looks like a pit bull or a pit bull mix. I'll show you a picture of the dog as well, because the dog's also missing. And if the dog has been turned loose or he's escaped after an altercation or an accident, or he may have been taken to a pound somewhere. We don't know. So the dog is an important factor in this case because, you know, people don't just disappear, but neither do dogs. But people can purposefully hide themselves, whereas a dog isn't going to do that, is he? Not really. So on May the 4th, sheriff deputies in Torrance County, New Mexico, pulled the couple over after receiving a report that he had struck Miss Alcaraz. Mr. Stratton told authorities that he'd also been hit, and both declined to press charges. So they had no choice but to just split them up and then let them go. So without any further information, I'm not sure the police did anything wrong. Without further information. I mean, the Gabby Petito Brian Laundrie, it was all caught on body cam, wasn't it, which was released. So, yes, there's going to be body cam in this case. Let's release the body cam, guys. You guys in Torrance County, let's release the body cam. Just raise more awareness of it. Get the media really interested in this story. Authorities have since released photos showing Miss Alcaraz with a black eye, cuts on her face and severe bruising on her arms after the assault. He beat her up pretty bad, her brother Josh Alcaraz told Fox 5. A truck driver had to pull him off of her, call the police. The police picked him up, took him a couple of exits down and dropped him off. she was diagnosed with a traumatic brain injury and a broken hand or wrist. Now, I have heard that it was him with the traumatic brain injury. So I don't know whether it's her or him with this traumatic brain injury, but this article is quoting her brother Josh, who said she. So if it is her, as well as cuts and bruises, there's a traumatic brain injury involved and a broken bone. If it's him with the traumatic brain injury, well, was that caused by Nikki? I mean, was this a really serious fight and he sustained considerable damage? Or is this a previous injury that is the cause of the DV? Because sometimes traumatic brain injury can alter your personality. It can change the way you think. Sometimes temporarily, but still. Miss Alcaraz was taken to a Super 8 motel in the town of Moriarty. A friend travelled from California and stayed with her overnight at the motel. The plan was for the friend to take her back to California. And that's the black eye. And she's got bruising all down this arm here. And there's another photo where she's bruised down the side. She's also got tattoos, visible tattoos on her neck, her chest. She's quite a distinctive appearance. But if she's purposefully hiding, for whatever reason, then she might cover her tats up. On May the 6th, Miss Alcaraz left the motel and told the friend she was going to try to find her boyfriend. Her sister, Tony Alcaraz, told WKRN she received a text on the 8th of May saying she was in Arizona and planned to continue the trip to California. She hasn't been heard from since. So this text on May 8th, is that proof of life from Nikki 2 days after she was last seen? Or is this again like what Brian Laundrie did and was sending texts to Nicole Smith, Gabby Petito's mother, pretending to be Gabby, when all the time Gabby had been murdered? And I'm not saying there's a murder in this case. I'm just saying, how do we know that's really Nikki? Miss Alcaraz told the news site, so this is Tony Alcaraz, told the news site it was highly unusual not to hear from her for an extended period. Miss Alcaraz's licence plate was picked up near Flagstaff in Arizona on May the 9th. So again, is this proof of life from Nikki? Was Nikki driving? Or was Tyler Stratton driving and Nikki has been left somewhere? There's something very, very off here. Very off. Tony Alcaraz said she filed a missing persons report in New Mexico, as that was where she was last seen. Josh Alcaraz said he feared that his sister's vehicle might have broken down in the desert or come off the road. I mean, that's another thing. You know, they might have met up and put their differences behind them, going to make a new start, and they're travelling together. So it really was Nikki on the 8th texting her sister, and they were both in the vehicle and the dog on May the 9th. We just don't know. This is the thing. We would like everyone to keep their eyes open. So if you see the Jeep, if you see him, if you see her, call someone, call the police, Josh told Fox 5. Officials in Cheatham County, Tennessee, are working with law enforcement agencies in New Mexico and California to try to locate Miss Alcaraz. Because if they've gone from New Mexico to Arizona, and they really are fine and dandy on May 9th, did they carry on their route to California, to Orange County? Or did they deviate from that? Did they change their plans? They literally could be anywhere at this point. Due to a history of domestic assault, we believe she's in danger, the Cheatham County Sheriff's Office said in a Facebook post appealing for information. District Attorney General Ray Crouch told WKRN his office had requested a nationwide extradition for Mr. Stratton, who is also missing. So I guess they're treating him as a possible offender. I guess there's suspicion that he's done something. But we don't know that for sure, do we? Unless the cops know things that they're not telling the public as of yet. But Mr. Stratton is wanted on an unrelated arrest warrant for theft and begged for the public's assistance. So there's a warrant out for him. So if he's on the run, then at least they can pick him up on that warrant. Families say they are holding on to hope of finding Miss Alcaraz alive. If you see the Jeep, if you see him, if you see her, call someone. And you see the dog, call someone. Because where that dog is spotted could be the very last place Nikki was, or the very last place Tyler was. Obviously, worst case scenario is very present in the back of my mind. I'm trying to hold out hope. Miss Alcaraz, who is also known as Nikki Cunningham, as I said before, is 5'6", with brown eyes and black to brown hair. She also has several distinctive tattoos. Anyone with information about her whereabouts is asked to call police in Moriarty on 505 832 6060 or 505 834 2705. Or, I guess, if it's an emergency situation, just call 911 rather than trying to remember those numbers. Yes, remember those numbers, but if you don't and you see either of them or the dog and you don't know what else to do, just call 911. Mr. Stratton's family have reportedly not filed a missing persons report according to online reports, which is very suspicious. What do his family know? Why are they not concerned about him as a missing person? Or are they, but they know he's got that warrant out, so they're not raising any red flags. So, Gabby Petito comparisons. The allegations of assault on a cross-country road trip have been drawing comparisons to the 2021 disappearance and murder of vlogger Gabby Petito. So we know she set off from her home in July with her boyfriend Brian Laundrie, pulled over at Moab. They didn't seem to notice that Gabby was developing, that's going to turn into a black eye. So this is Nikki again, and a photo of Nikki and Tyler. And then this is a photo of the dog. So he looks like a pit bull or a pit bull mix. He's well cute. Oh, look at him. Those are the other bruises that have been photographed and that she sustained. Huh. The US Sun are calling him Stephen Stratton. Is he Stephen Stratton? Oh, Stephen Tyler Stratton. Alright, so he might be using the name Stephen or the name Tyler. Alright, guys. That's all. Let me know your thoughts below, and I'll see you in the next video. Cassie. Tilly, sit. Cassie.